Hi, I'm Peter Nyboer. I'm working with Sensel, and I'm going to play some little vignettes using the Sensel Morph that just try to take advantage of the fact that it's a really high-resolution pressure sensor with multi-touch. So the first thing I'm going to show you is something that just uses the bare pressure sensor and the API, so I can get the individual contact information and use the force image to create some cool graphics and some fantastic noise. Patch in Max MSP. So let me show that to you really quickly. Does anybody here use Cycling 74's Max? What's that? Oh, right. That was a patch in Max MSP. Does anyone use Max in here? All right, cool. So there's actually a Max object for the Sensel Morph. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling in all the contact information. And I can show that, what that looks like. I'll go to the help file. This is available in a package. So if you go to the package manager in Max, you can just download this and install it. So you can see when I'm touching it on this display here, it's giving me the contact ID and the position and lots of information, the ellipticality. As I rotate my finger like that, it gives you that angle. So there's all sorts of gestural information you can derive from it. There's also the jit.sensel object, which provides the force image. So that's what you're seeing. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because we're talking about seeing now. You can see as I push down with my hand, I get that image, and I'm using that to deform the mesh. So it's a fairly simple concept, but pretty dramatic. So next I'm going to show some things that I've been working on in Bitwig. And let's see, what have I got first? I'll do some arpeggiation. So this is using the Buchla Thunder, overlay. And this was something that we released this year. We worked closely with Buchla to create this and sort of provide the feature set and the relief and how it feels. And we're really proud of it. We're really happy to bring some of Don Buchla's legacy to something that's a little bit more accessible. So a quick explanation of what was going on there. So I'm using the Thunder, and it's sort of like one of the cool things about the original Thunder that Don made in '89 was that, and this is something that our version lacks, was it had a clock and it had arpeggiation. And you could use all of the sliders in your hands to modify those. But today we have supercomputers. So in Bitwig, what I did is I built arpeggiations for each note, just separating each individual note and applying different arpeggiations to them. And then on the right side, I was controlling the speed. And cool stuff happens on this bottom hex here. I don't really remember what I did there. But it sounded cool. So this next little piece is using the more traditional piano layout in a very untraditional way. This uses MPE, MIDI polyphonic expression. So it's the new kid on the block with MIDI. All it is just sort of a nice little subset of MIDI that allows you to have individual pitch bend. It gives you individual expression, so you can control timbre by going up and down on keys or sliders or pads or other types of pads. That's kind of the cool thing about having all these different overlays is you can experiment with different interfaces with this stuff instead of being restricted to the piano. But in this case, I restricted the piano. One of the things about MPE is that it sort of offers this sort of acoustic style expression like you get with a violin or a guitar per finger. So that's sort of the analog that jumps out when we talk about it a lot. I'm not really interested in that. I'm more interested in the fact that it sort of allows you to control a timbre space. So what I did here is I took me playing guitar and then chopped it up into samples. And the reason I'm using the piano keyboard is because it just sort of organizes everything in that way. So I figured I'll just use that one. So for the sake of efficiency, that's what I'm using. So here we go. finally, because we're at Superbooth, we need to have an analog synth. So a couple of things about that. The way I was manipulating those samples, not everything was working the way it was supposed to, imagine that. But the basic idea is that as I move up and down, that's controlling a filter, which you probably heard. I was able to move left and right and detune things. And then as I press down, that blended in a glitch effect. So that's what breaks up the audio and does a lot of the panning and things like that. So it really kind of gives me all this like audio clay. So it's a lot of fun to play. So let's see what I can get going with this modular here. And that's my time. We're at booth E46 down by the stairwell. Erica Synths, Bitwig, they're all down there. I've got some postcards here. If you want some more information, there's a little discount on the back if you're interested in buying. Thank you very much.